But then all of a sudden she's running for the president of the United States. And you want to ask questions, is she black or is she Indian? I don't know. No, we don't get to do that. We ain't doing that. All right. But having said all of that, fair is fair. Fair is fair to independents out there. Fair is fair to conservatives and Republicans out there. There's certain things that we have to hold both sides to. Now, Joe Biden stepped aside as the presumptive Democratic nominee on July 21st. Okay? Now I'm going to look at this right now. I'm looking at my calendar because I just want to make sure. July 21st was a Sunday. We've had 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and 1 day since Joe Biden stepped aside. The only damn place we've seen Kamala Harris is at pep rallies. What's up? Somebody got to say something. And it can't just be the conservatives. Right is right. I'm talking to my sister here. Come on now. You running for the presidency of the United States of America. You got my vote. You running for the presidency of the United States of America. What you hiding for?
Well, because she's already got your vote, Stephen A. Why would the lady campaign to earn votes if she's already aware that all of you are going to vote for her anyway, no matter what? You're going to endorse her no matter what. It's been a month, still no policies listed, but she's got your vote. She already told us she's not going to do anything for black people, and she still got your vote. Then not only did she disrespect black journalists by not showing up to their event, but she's refused to sit down with all the so-called black traditional media talking heads. All of y'all are stumping for her no matter what. And none of you interviewed her when the big donor selected her to be the candidate. You didn't interview her the first week, the second week, or the third week. And now it's the fourth week and nothing. All of y'all allowed a presidential candidate and sitting vice president go a whole month without engaging with the media while praising her around the clock for absolutely nothing. The media is the one allowing this. The old black media and the old white media like ABC, CBS, CNN, and MSNBC. All of you. Stephen A is calling out Kamala the cosplaying chameleon for avoiding interviews. We're going to get into it, but first, take a second to make sure you're subscribed to the channel and click the notification bell for all updates. Won't waste any time, let's get back into it.
And I mean hiding in plain sight. Somebody got to say it. Somebody got to say it. Now, you can't be running for the presidency of the United States. Not one single press conference. Not one single one-on-one sit-down interview where somebody gets to question you about the questions that we ask. That's not fair. That's not fair. And if you're a conservative and you out there lambasting her for it, ridiculing her for it, trying to torment her for it or whatever, it is perfectly within your right to do so. All of you anti-conservatives out there, shut the hell up. That's a valid point. It ain't valid to bring up a blackness or an Indian heritage and to try to point to things of that nature. That's nonsense.
No, it's very valid to bring up this racially ambiguous chameleon because one, the very first day, there was a push to support this non-black, faux black American Canadian Indian with a daddy born in Jamaica, Irish Indian woman. We didn't get any policies, nothing but a so-called reproductive agenda, which isn't about reproduction at all. It's all about terminations. There's no agenda and it's been a month. Then her flip-flopping on race, being a pretending chameleon, becoming a black woman again during election season. That's the same way she's been flip-flopping on policy. 1 year she's tough on crime. The next year she's defund the police. And then now in 2024, she's tough on crime again. Not to mention just a couple of years ago, she was happy to be in charge of the border. Fast forward to now, acting like she had nothing to do with it. This pretending chameleon will say anything and change up back and forth depending on who she's talking to, switching positions, switching her race, everything. So yes, it's indeed valid.
But to ask her about her record, because she is attached to the Biden record, is definitely apropos, especially when you were bragging about the record. We talked about Biden being a transformative president. Well, stand on it then. Stand on it. Where you at? No George Stephanopoulos, no Meet the Press, no State of the Union. What's up? No Face the Nation, no Politico. No MSNBC. I understand why you wouldn't do Fox. Liberals don't really do Fox, just like conservatives don't really do MSNBC.
Obama did Fox. Listen, I just don't understand why this cosplaying chameleon is being given special treatment. Why is the standard so different for her than everybody else that came before her? Even Biden, who can't remember his name every 5 minutes, did interviews. Everybody before her had to answer questions and give their position on policies. But it's amazing how she's able to get away without doing anything.
You're welcome to the Stephen A. Smith Show. I will gladly interview Donald Trump. I will gladly interview Kamala Harris. Name the time or place. I'll come to you. I'll come to you. I'll show up. Anytime. And I'm no political aficionado. I'm gonna need fact checkers. I don't know everything that y'all gonna say. But I know this much. I know how to ask the questions that Americans want to know.
He already said he's voting for Kamala no matter what, but I bet she'll never show up. It's Kamala now in the same basement where they had Biden in 2020. The difference is in 2020, Biden had an excuse, the pandemic. What's Kamala's excuse now?
Kamala Harris, there are certain things that we have to ask you a question about. There's simply no way of getting around certain things. Weren't you against fracking? Is that true? And now you're for it? Just asking. These are important questions to think about. You're going to intensify and elevate the importance of securing our borders. Were you always that way?
Well, Kamala was over the border. Biden appointed her to lead the situation a couple of years ago. And look what's happened under her watch.
These are legitimate questions. You no longer support a national ban on fracking. Also, you no longer support the elimination of private health insurance. Is it true that one time you supported those things? When did your mind change? How long ago was that? When were you going to tell the American people? Why'd you keep it from everybody? And yes, it is a legitimate question. How much did you know about Joe Biden and the slippage? The cognitive decline that so many people have alluded to on both sides of the aisle now. Did you ever feel compelled to tell anybody? I know you didn't want to come out and dime them out publicly, but privately, were you working behind the scenes? Did you tell folks about this? Did you talk to Joe Biden himself about that? These are legitimate questions for a presidential candidate. And the reason why I think it's important, ladies and gentlemen, to bring this issue up. I support Kamala Harris over Donald Trump. But fair is fair. Is it not true that just in this cycle, that there wasn't really a primary for the Democrats? Because the way was paved for President Joe Biden. This is not about Kamala Harris. This is about the Democratic Party. How dare you? How dare you? If the man is ready and qualified to run for the presidency of the United States of America, why are you getting in the way of competition? Let the American people decide. I don't give a damn if it's Dean Phillips or somebody else. Let us decide. We're the voters. Let us decide. That's all I'm saying. I'm talking to the Democrats and the Republicans. You see, when you want to sit up there and you want to crucify Donald Trump, I'm down for that. I don't like a lot of stuff about Donald Trump. I can't deny, however, the man does a whole bunch of interviews. Getting ready to get interviewed by Elon Musk. Showed up to the National Association of Black Journalists. Knew that wasn't going to be a pleasant experience. You saw him. You didn't even say hello. How are you? We saw that. But he was there. I saw Ron DeSantis, Chris Christie, Vivek Ramaswamy. Nikki Haley. I saw people trying to knock him off in the primaries. The Republican conservative folks in this country spoke. We want Donald Trump, they said.
The obvious problem that's really troubling with the Democrats is that they didn't give us a choice. They allowed the elites to choose a candidate. Nobody voted for Kamala in the primary to be the presidential candidate. If she really had to earn the position like anybody else, she would have had the same performance as 2020. Nobody liked her then, and we already know why. But now they're using money to manufacture support when Kamala never had grassroots support.
What's up? This strategy that everybody's invoking. Let's not say anything. I'm not saying the strategy wasn't good to this point. But remember, I was the one that said a year ago, we needed a new president for the next election. Joe Biden can't be the guy. Y'all waited about 8 months, but everybody found out I was right. And I'm telling you now, Vice President Harris, this strategy that is working, that has you up in the polls, where you showing up at rallies and that's pretty much press conferences and interviews, that is not going to fly for much longer.
And I have to say, Stephen A. Smith is a part of the problem. Him, Charlemagne, D.L. Hughley, Ricky Smiley, Steve Harvey, Tamika Mallory, Angela Rye, Jamel Hill, all of the Black Boule. They're all willing to throw their full support behind this pretending chameleon without any policies at all. The only agenda she's been stumping for is Black women pregnancy terminations. Margaret Sanger Jr., that's it. I still can't believe it's been a month and a bunch of endorsements later with no interviews, no clear agenda or policies, and they're literally worshiping this woman. That's how I know they really don't see her as a Black woman, and everybody's aware of it, because we all know the stuff this non-Black woman is getting away with would never fly for a Black American woman.
And so what we have to do, brothers and sisters, is protect her.
No, there's no way she would get this much protection and given a pass to not do her job if she was a Black American woman. But I digress. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Let me know what you think about this below. Special thanks to our brother Roland C. I appreciate you, Roland, for all of your support, as well as Algie, Dark Power, and Corey Joe. Don't forget that you can support this channel as well. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to like and share.